Good morning, Thailand. This is Voice of the Nation. We are broadcasting live every Monday to Friday from 8 to 9 a.m. with us ผมวิทยาแสงอรุณ and คุณนีรชามาลิศักดิ์สวัสดีครับคุณนีน่าครับ
สวัสดีคุณยอดค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ everybody. So Voice of the Nations brings you updates and what's happening in Thailand, and I hope our program will be your favorite morning English news program.
To watch Voice of the Nation previous episodes, please visit our YouTube channel at The Nation Thailand and on Facebook page. Just search the words The Nation Thailand.
ค่ะ as for today's special live interview, if you are looking for investment opportunity and you are interested in investing in startups, so stay tuned with us as we have คุณภาวุฒิพงษ์วิทยาพานุ CEO and founder of Tarat.com and a top 40 startup investor who will come and share with us his experience and knowledge from the field in our live interview sections. But first, let's start our day. Today is the 4th of February 2022. And as well, today is also World Cancer Day. In Thailand, we also have big events going on. So World Cancer Day is an international day marked on 4th of February to raise awareness of cancer and to encourage its prevention, detections, and treatment. World Cancer Day is led by the Union for International Cancer Control to support the goals of the World Cancer Declarations written in 2008. And the goal is to significantly reduce cause cancer. And it is also an opportunity to rally the international community to end the injustice of preventable suffering from cancer. And the day is also observed by the United Nations.
Right.
So, Thailand today commemorates World Cancer Day 2022 by remembering local celebrities who succumbed to this disease. The local media has played an important role in increasing awareness of cancer and encouraging Thai citizens to adopt hygiene and personal health habits that could minimize the chances of contracting cancer. World Cancer Day is led by the Union for International Cancer Control to support the goals of the World Cancer and Declaration, which was written in 2008. Among local celebrities, there's actor Saranyu Wongkachang and singer Art Ronchai Thomyapariwat both succumbed to the cancer last year, and the other cancer victims were comedian Paitun Phumrat, or better known as the Smirky Robert or Robert Sai Kwan, and veteran television host Somchai Premprapapong or the Sena Kok.
I see. So this year, World Cancer Day campaign, the hashtag is Close the Care Gap. What does it mean? In care of cancer treatment, there are many issues hidden and they need to be addressed. For example, people do not realize that a certain behavior leads to cancer, like smoking or you eating raw fish. The procedure to get diagnosed takes so long and is complicated, and also the treatment options are sometimes limited. Our special guest today will talk about how issues on cancer important to us all. Mr. Farid Bidgoli, General Manager of Roche Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos, share his insights with us ครับไปพบกับเขา What are the key
diagnosis? I think that the third thing.
In your view, what are the key factors to win the fight against cancer in the future?
Yeah, so obviously I mentioned early diagnosis and I mentioned access to treatment. I think that the third thing really would be how the government goes about trying to finance the investment. And what we see that the investment of GDP in healthcare in Thailand flat, and it's been flat for the past 10 years. So how would you then have better outcomes in cancer without investing? Well, it's impossible. You need to invest. But there are different ways that we can look at that. And what we're trying to do is today, the traditional method of appraising medicines, whether they are cost effective for Thailand, and we do a health technology appraisal. Unfortunately, that is not sufficient for cancer medicine. It's not a sufficient process for cancer medicine. So we need alternative approaches. Some approaches could be, how do we use, for example, sin taxes from alcohol, taxes from tobacco, which actually cause cancer. How do we use those taxes, invest those into a healthcare budget that supports cancer? That's possibly one way. The other way is how does the government work in partnership with manufacturers like Roche and other pharmaceutical companies to make sure that patients in Thailand can access medicines? And there are many different ways that we work with governments all around the world. So with some governments around the world, for example, if I look at Korea, we have what we call an outcomes agreement in Korea. So actually we say our medicines achieve this in our clinical trials, and therefore you should expect those same outcomes. So if we achieve those outcomes, then please pay us the price that we requested. However, if we don't achieve those outcomes, you don't have to pay us as much. And that's called outcomes-based pricing. So that's one way. The other way is volume-based. Yeah. So obviously, the more that the government's willing to spend on medicines, then obviously the cheaper they should be. And those are other approaches that we can take. And then also things like capping. So for example, we know that, today the average number of patients diagnosed every year with liver cancer is around about 27,000 people here in Thailand. Now, we therefore know how many of them potentially need treatment as well. So we can start working out these budgets, and therefore we can say, okay, well, we'll create a cap. Yeah, if your budget is, I don't know, let's say, for example, 50 billion Thai baht to treat this cancer, then okay, if we go over that, then Roche or another pharmaceutical company takes the risks. However, if you go under that treatment threshold, then you take the risk. So there are different ways from an alternative financing that actually the government can procure and work with manufacturers, as well as different ways that actually it can get funding as well from its medicines through its taxation system and through its policies as well.
On occasion of World Cancer Day, how Roche has contributed to the transformation of the lives of people with cancer.
Yeah, thanks, Kunyard, for asking that question. We invest 12 billion euros in research and development every single year. We invest more research than any other pharmaceutical company in the world. In fact, we're in the top 10 of all companies in terms of driving research to improve health. And the majority of that research is in cancer. And actually that gets translated to Thailand. So actually Roche here in Thailand, we've been here 50 years. And we invest more in clinical trials than any other pharmaceutical company. In fact, today I can tell you that we have 32 clinical trials in oncology in 117 different hospitals. Wow. And currently today, approximately 530 patients are getting treated with the most advanced therapies, not yet even licensed in the rest of the world, to help treat cancer. So we significantly invest in research and development as well. From a medicine side, then quite interestingly, since about 2018, we've helped treat over 10,000 women with breast cancer with one of our medicines. And today what we see is that breast cancer has dropped out of the top 3 most common causes of death. Yeah, and it dropped out of the most common causes of death in the top 3 because of the access to one of our targeted therapies, which is phenomenal. Which goes to show when the government does invest in the right medicine, it has an impact. And then I think in addition to what we can see is how our employees are passionate about really bringing change, and therefore working with the stakeholders, the doctors, around helping educate them on the new diagnostics and new therapeutics, advances in therapy, and then bringing together stakeholders, acting as a catalyst and a convener to bring people together, like the NCI, Chulapur Royal Academy, NHSO, Thai Cancer Society, bringing them together to discuss this important issues of how we close the gap.
That's all. We learned a lot about key issues on the World Cancer Day 2022 and how preventive measures by Roche. Thanks, Mr. Farid Bitgoli, General Manager of Roche Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos. Thanks for joining us today. And that's just one part of our long interview with him. The full interview will be launched next week on our Facebook and YouTube channel ครับคุณลีน่าครับ
So I think raising awareness to lower the risk of cancer and supporting survivors or who is battling with cancer is an important mission that we should be reminded of.
Right. Cancer looks like an extremely difficult disease, but if we detect early, many lives will be saved. After our program today from 10:30 to 12:30, if you'd like to be updated about cancer treatments and equal access and joy World Cancer Day, please attend a symposium online. The topic is how to make Thai people have equal access to cancer treatment and have a good quality of life. With the hashtag close the care gap to reduce the crisis of cancer patients towards equality and in treatment. Today you can watch Facebook of โรงพยาบาลจุฬาภรณ์ราชวิทยาลัยจุฬาภรณ์นะครับ or จุฬาภรณ์ Hospital and also Facebook of กรุงเทพธุรกิจ Spring News and Nation Online and คมชัดลึก all together ครับ
But that's very interesting. So if anyone interested, so you can join from what Kun Vidya said. And I think as well, cancer is about how do you think your mind think. If you feel strong enough, then if your mind is strong enough, then you can, I wouldn't say you can overcome or anything, but I would say the soul has to be strong first. That's what I mean. Yeah. Okay, Ka. So if you've been taking public transportation in Bangkok, you might have seen one of Bangkok's key gubernatorial election candidates who has come under fire yesterday after an opposition member of the parliament has summoned him to the House panel inquiry over having 342 million baht in undeclared assets. คุณวิทยาคะ
ครับ A key candidate for the Bangkok governor election has come under fire over 342 million access as an opposition MP on Wednesday summoned him before a House panel inquiry. Move Forward Party MP Thirathchai Phantumaat said that Democrat candidate Suchachwi Suwansawat needed to explain soon to the House panel on anti-corruption on details of that 342 million baht. He and his wife had earlier declared only 44 million baht to the anti-graft agency, National Anti-Corruption Commission, prior to taking the position of rector of the King Mongkut Institute for Technology, Lat Krabang. Kun Suchachwi was the rector of the King Mongkut Institute for Technology, Lat Krabang for 6 years before leaving to run for the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration governorship under the Democrat Party banner late last year. On December 29 last year, the Office of the National Anti-Corruption Commission published the assets of Kun Suchachwi. He informed that he married with 2 children, both of whom are underage, with assets of 141 million baht, including cash about 100,000 baht, deposit 5.3 million baht, investment 19 million baht, land 32 million baht, houses and buildings 65 million baht, vehicles 2.8 million baht. He reports that he has an estimated annual income of 18 million baht, a salary of 1.4 million baht, a position allowance 5 million baht, a meeting allowance and a bonus 5.5 million baht, sales of books and copyrights 3.1 million baht, lecture and tutoring fee 3.5 million baht. Kun Savita Suwansawat, his spouse, is currently the executive chairman of MSC International Law Office Company Limited, has assets of 200 million baht, including houses and buildings 30 million baht, vehicle 8.7 million baht. Other assets are 95 million baht ครับคุณนีน่าครับ Right. This is all what he in the report, and he's just consider like with unusual wealth. As for Dr. A himself, he said that he willing to go through the transparency process. He gave Voice of the Nation an exclusive interview on this matter. Let's hear from him ครับ
to be investigated because I used to be government servant, so we have to show the report to National Anti-Corruption Commission regularly, and I submit the report as I have to, and I'm very confident that what I have done as a president of KMITL, we do everything right under the law, and also as the university, we have to submit transparency report to National Anti-Corruption Commission also annually. And for the last couple years, we score very high point in transparency report. So if you ask me, I'm very confident.
Right. So he explained this to the special exclusive interview with us. He sent yesterday, right, Kunina? The clip.
Yes, he was somewhere around Bang Na. He was on his visits in near the Klong Bang Na. So we have one of our reporter there. So I actually asked him if he could give us a exclusive interview. So I would like to say thank you to Dr. A very much, and also Kun Withaya ka. The Bangkok governor election is likely to take place in May. And as for yesterday, finally, sorry, he will be one of the candidates as well. And as for yesterday evening, Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha also reassured about this matter that if the Bangkok governor taking place in May, he hopes that things will run smoothly.
I hope so.
I hope so.
But it seems like something going on now with this news about him, and maybe some coming up next week.
Or maybe about another candidate. We don't know.
Right. So up next, let's take a look at Myanmar and Cambodia issues with Kunina ครับ
So still with the Myanmar issue over whether they would send their representative to the ASEAN retreat. So according to the Cambodia's foreign ministry, there will be a non-political representative from Myanmar that had been invited to attend a meeting of Southeast Asian foreign ministers later this month rather than the country's military-appointed foreign minister. Still, members of the ASEAN had not reached a consensus on inviting Myanmar's foreign minister amid a lack of progress in an ASEAN peace plan. Cambodia is current chair of the 10-member bloc and is due to host the ministerial meeting on 16 to 17 of February. Cambodia encourages Myanmar to be represented at the retreat by a non-political level rather than leaving the seat empty, and it was up to Myanmar to decide who the representative should be. While Myanmar has been in crisis since the military overthrew an elected government a year ago, with around 1,500 civilians killed in the junta's crackdown on its opponents, but troops in the countryside are also fighting on multiple fronts with pro-democracy groups that have taken up arms and ethnic minority forces. In a statement released on Wednesday, Cambodia said that it is deeply concerned over developments in Myanmar, including reports of continued violence and the deteriorations of the humanitarian situation. The statement said ASEAN member states underlined the urgency of the immediate cessation of violence and for all parties to exercise utmost restraint. As for last year, ASEAN sprung a surprise by barring the junta from key meetings over its failure to honor the ASEAN peace consensus. But divisions over the issue have persisted, and Cambodia's Prime Minister Hun Sen met military leader Min Aung Hlaing in Myanmar last month on the 7th of January, which is a trip that has some regional neighbors worried that it could be interpreted as an endorsement of the junta. And as ASEAN chair, Hun Sen has come under pressure to hold Min Aung Hlaing to the ASEAN peace agreement. And
Right.
that's it from the news of Cambodia and Myanmar and also ASEAN News. Thank you for the news report from our partner, Asia News Network.
Okay. You still with AEC
Mhm.
now?
Still staying in AZ, so we will shift from Myanmar, Cambodia to labor matter, which is an important part that drives the Thai economy, which are the skilled workers from our neighboring countries, especially from Laos. But ever since the COVID-19 pandemic hit, these workers have returned to their home countries.
Right. So currently, more than 50% of these workers have returned to their jobs in Thailand, where the minimum wage is higher than in Laos. The Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare is preparing job centers in Laos to assist these skilled workers that want to return to Thailand. Some 150,000 skilled workers are on their way back to Thailand, while the government is setting up job centers in every province of Laos to assist returning migrant workers by providing them with information about new jobs. Statistics from the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare indicate that more than 246,000 workers have returned to Laos from Thailand since the start of the pandemic, when large numbers of people were laid off, with about 150,000 people having returned to Thailand last year. More than 50% of returning workers had now returned to their jobs in Thailand. Most of them are skilled and they can earn more money in Thailand, where the minimum wage is higher than in Laos. Employers in Thailand have an increasing need for skilled workers and offer decent wages, whereas companies in Laos are still suffering from a shortage of workers. This is a lack of accurate data around the situation, which has given rise to issues such as informality in the recruitment process and the lack of employment protection. At the same time, there is a lack of job market indicators on employment opportunities and unemployment. The ministry thinks the provision of job information centers will play a key role in enabling authorities to help workers in need of assistance. People can register at provincial assistance centers so they can get help from the government. Lao workers who return home to register with the authorities must get work permits and passports from labor officials so they can legally work in Thailand. The government has identified certain large-scale development projects in Laos that can benefit from an influx of skilled workers. These include the Amata Smart and Eco City in Luang Nam Tha and Udom Chai provinces, the new international airport in Bo Kaeo, a giant Buddha image under construction at That Luang, and infrastructure development project in the Golden Triangle. The government says it will encourage at least 700 companies to invest in special economic zones over the next 5 years, saying these companies could create over 130,000 jobs. ครับคุณนีน่าครับ
So shifting from labor matter to food matter, as we all know that from New Year onwards until now, there's a lot of prices of food that has been increased. That's what we always use as แพงทั้งแผ่นดิน But good news, Ka, because in the last few weeks that we've seen it,
Mhm.
pork price start to lower down.
Right, lower down. But according to Department of Internal Trade, with this good news to look forward to the price, like household food staple like eggs and pork are likely to go down after the Chinese New Year.
Can you believe that คะคุณวิทยา cheaper pork price?
It's for real?
Actually, I have to share you this. Yesterday, I went to the fresh market and I see a sign cheap pork price, cheap
That's
like
just say
180
that
per kilo.
right there, just that cheap pork price.
Cheap pork price like
Wow.
for sale 180 kilos. I was like, maybe I should come back.
It's
It
still
was
it's
on
still
my
cheap.
way. Pardon?
Uh-huh. Is that cheap? 180?
Well, it's cheaper than 250 baht that I have encountered in the supermarket or some department store.
I see.
Especially, you know, the mu sam chan. Thai loves it, the belly pork.
Mhm.
Okay,ค่ะ. So on Wednesday, the Department of Internal Trade announced that the prices of pork as well as those of eggs and chicken are expected to go down after the end of the Chinese New Year. Director General Wattanasak Iem estimated that the general price should fall to 170 to 180 baht per kilo compared to 220 baht earlier this month, with its peak at around 300 baht per kilo during the Chinese New Year. The general drop in wholesale price at the pig farms should lower to 100 baht, resulting in a decrease in retail price, without explaining why the retail price had earlier jumped to the highest rate even before the Chinese New Year period. The high price had led to the government facing flack from the opposition and the general public. The price of chicken meat is expected to go down to 65 to 82 baht per kilogram, which is a slight drop from the current rate, while the price of egg in the middle of number 3 size should drop to 100 baht for a 38 pack, or average of 3.33 baht 8 piece. So the price of palm oil also remains stable and is priced approximately at around 59 baht to 62 baht per bottle. The price had risen earlier due to a drop in production in Indonesia and Malaysia because of the COVID outbreak in both countries.
Okay.
But you know, as I mentioned to you before, palm oil is not really good for health. So I actually consume more like sunflower oil or rice bran oil. And the price is actually pretty much almost the same as the palm oil now per bottle, basically.
So that's a good choice, an alternative way.
Alternative way and healthy choice as well. So let's have a look at another pricey item, or should I say like in trend items. Everyone must have it.
Right.
It's the ATK test. So do you remember that? I think a few weeks ago we made a report about the ATK.
Right.
That it's so expensive, from maybe 100 to 200 baht. And now what do we have, คะคุณวิทยา?
It's now good news though. If it, I think it's coming. It's coming though. So it's quite pricey. Then sometimes it's hard to buy for the ATK. But now the National Science and Technology Development Agency has come up with a nano COVID-19 antigen test kit, which will hopefully resolve the problem of prices and quantity of ATK tests that have always been shipped abroad. Finally, we have a new, made in Thailand product. Is ATK made in Thailand. Prime Minister launched NSTDA, that agency that I mentioned before, related to agency for inventing nano COVID-19 ATK. Government spokesman Kun Thanakon Wangbunkongchana said on Thursday that Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha thanked the National Science and Technology Development Agency, or NSTDA, and related organizations for inventing a nano COVID-19 antigen test kit, or ATK. This particular ATK is based on knowledge from influenza virus test kits that use nano and sensor technology. There are two types of the new COVID-19 kits, 80K professional use for medical personnel and 80K home use for the public. Huntanakorn pointed out that Thailand has had to import general ATK from foreign countries, but this invention would help the kingdom export the new ATKs to world markets. He said the government has always solved its problem of the price and quantity of ATKs. Kuntanakorn also said that the government was ready to support the study and development of innovative equipment which could be used for commercial purposes and help the medical industry to grow, especially studies in line with the bio-circular green economy for those that would help Thailand become a medical hub. So please stay with us for our next session. So we will meet one of Thailand's best known tech gurus on helping startups and how he managed his huge investment portfolio สักครู่ครับ
Welcome back to Voice of the Nation. So today we will discuss with an angel investor who is very well known among startup and community. And please welcome Kun Pavut Pongwithayapanu, CEO and founder of Talat.com and a top 40 startup investor ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับคุณพานุครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ so welcome to our program ค่ะคุณพันคุณป้อมนะคะ shall we call you คุณป้อมค่ะ
Yes, please. Okay.
ค่ะ so you are one of the pioneer people in the startup community in Thailand. So what should I say that an angel investor from an investor to angel investor or someone who gives advice and directions to young or new generations on invest in startup. Is that right? Could you please tell me about what is an angel investor and at what the turning point for you from operating, a business into becoming an angel investor in this section?
Okay. Actually, angel investor is not like the guys who have wings flying around, like not like that. Okay. But actually, angel investor is a term that we calling the person or the organization who invests in company in the early stage. In the early stage, that means they just founded the company, and they just build up the company in a few months, in a few years. That is really early stage of that. That means it have a lot of chance that company gonna fail or company gonna grow. In this stage, it's really risky. Comparing to the growing about 10 years and then we can invest in that time. That means for angel investor, we invest in them. It's going to be like I told you that it could be risk, but it's very good for angel investor because the money that we're spending or investing is not huge amount of money, but it's enough for them to build up the business growing to the next step. That means that's an angel investor.
Can you review the number? It's not huge amounts, like how much?
It depends,
approximately?
Okay. Because in terms of investment in startup, we separate in the many stages like that. Okay. Maybe we call the seed stage. Seed stage, that means like you growing, you just seeding the plant like that. In this stage, when the angel investor come and investing, it take like like a 500,000 Thai baht or maybe 1 million, 2 million or 3 million like that. That is a amount of money that we can invest in this stage like that. But they are growing better, growing and growing. We maybe I have slide that showing that maybe it's explaining that what is investing in each stage like that. This is the stage of that. Okay, this is it. Okay, when the idea stage, you have an idea, you want to build up the company, and hey, I have an idea, and then you start build up the small testing your product. And this part, you see that the angel seeding and angel investor are going to be the one who invests in the company in this stage, in the idea stage. But when your company moving and growing, okay, we call it's moving to growth stage. Yeah, growth stage. That means in this part, that means the company creating traction. You have more sales, you have more people to come, you have a lot of customer, and then you start have a more investor, and investor gonna be the bigger, and money is a size bigger. It's we call venture capital, or maybe some people call VC. In this
Easy.
part, we're gonna invest more money. Something like starter from like 30 million to up to 100 million, like that. That is something that the staging like or for the businessman do to startup. Mhm.
Mhm.
For me, myself, I'm starting. Actually, I'm doing the business for 12, no, 23 years ago. I have
Mm.
a startup, but in 1999, in that time, they call not startup, they call .com.
.com.
Remember something like when eBay is growing, when
Mhm.
Amazon starting in the world,
Mhm.
and .com business growing so fast, and
Right.
and I'm starting company in that time,
Mhm.
and after I'm working about 10 years,
Mhm.
Rakuten, one of the largest e-commerce from Japan,
Mhm.
come to Thailand, and then they acquired my company.
Mhm.
During
Mhm.
that times, the value about 100 million Thai baht. That's
Mhm.
huge in that time. Okay,
Mhm.
and then working in Rakuten about 7 years, and
Mhm.
a lot of competition of e-commerce in Thailand. Then Rakuten exits from South Asia. I buy the
Mm.
company back, and then
Mm.
I sell the company again to the TCC
Mhm.
Group, one of the big conglomerate in Thailand. And
Mhm.
then after that, I'm start build up and investing in the small startup, because I'm seeing that, because I'm used to be the startup before, and I'm seeing that they need someone to help, because in
Mhm.
Thailand we have a lot of good company, good technology,
Mhm.
but they lack of someone to help them, to bring them to moving to the next step. That's why
Mhm.
I'm starting investing in 20 years ago, and then now I have around 40 company
I
Mm.
in
show here.
industry,
Mhm.
e-commerce, e-logistic, fintech, advertising, big data, vertical e-commerce, healthcare, a lot of things that I'm investing. Then and the way that I'm investing, I try to creating like a value change from
Mhm.
starting marketing. You want to
Mhm.
sales, you want to pay, you want to shipping your product, you want some back office operation, you want to big data analytics. This is the whole thing that I'm investing around 20 years.
So right, we see your portfolio a moment ago on the slide. So overall, see many different kind of companies you invest, but so far your investment style, you have a certain kind of style for choosing where to invest.
Mhm. I mean, where's the company that I'm seeing that it's never happened before in Thailand, or maybe in South Asia.
Mhm.
That mean I really believe in the first mover strategy. If you do something new before
Mhm.
something some other people else, that means you have more chance. If you're
Mhm.
following other people, that means you have less chance. The first
Mhm.
thing that I'm doing, that they do the new thing. The
Mhm.
second one, they have to be creating like a new traction. Okay, I have some criteria for them to. I'm investing the first mover strategy.
Mm.
The second one
Right.
is scalable business model. That means the business can scaling not only Thailand, but they can scaling to the whole South Asia or the global
Mm.
market like that. And the business have to competitive barrier to entry. That means other people could not copy the business easily. That means they have
Mm.
something that's protecting that business. And the fourth one is visible traction. That means they're not just coming, hey, I have an idea and I need your money. No, I'm not accept
Mhm.
that. I want someone who already has some customer, some traction, some people using that. Okay, and then please, okay, come to me, because it's already showing that your business model and your idea is successful. And
Mm.
I'm looking for the outstanding and visionary founder. The founder
Mm.
is very important. If the founder they are not good enough,
Mhm.
they could not bring the company to the next level. Mhm.
Mhm. So let me ask this. Uh, we have seen many kind of founders. So, but most of the people in the tech company, they're like quiet people and not like expressing their ideas well and taking the
Mm.
stand on the stage. It's difficult for them, and but they have the vision. So if you have these kind of founders, you think is okay for, because if you are the founder, you have to know how to spread your idea and convince the people, right? So
Yep.
if you find someone like quiet and cannot communicate well with what's going on in their mind, is that part of the choice that you're going to choose?
It depends. Okay, because for the company I have, I meet a lot of founder. Okay, someone is really speak a lot. Good
Right.
presentation, talent guy. Okay, like that.
Uh-huh.
Someone be like you. Okay, not talking to people. Quiet, quiet. But
Right.
I have to fixing that. That is a role of for me to helping them. Okay, for
Mm.
the business idea. Okay, you can see this
Mm-hmm.
is really a good chart that I'm always presenting to all the startup that I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
invest. Most of them have a good idea. Most of them have a good product. Okay, most of them
Mm-hmm.
have a good business model. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then the testing. We call it MVP, minimum viable product, or maybe the prototype of the product, so showing
Mm-hmm.
that hey, this is good idea. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
users coming and using that product. But this stage, they could be quiet guy. They could be maybe not talking to anyone. But they're growing when they're growing to the next step. That means
Mm-hmm.
they're stepping to the growth stage. In this phase, you see that a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things that they have to doing. They have to do the product facing. They have to do marketing. They have to
Mm-hmm.
dealing with a lot of people in the company. They have to preparing the budget. Financial KPI. That means in this stage, they need someone or
Mm-hmm.
team helping that. That is
Mm-hmm.
role of me to open their eyes. That hey, if you want to
Mm-hmm.
growing, you
Mm-hmm.
need people. You need more people. You need talent people to join your team. That means I
Mm-hmm.
have to push them. You need to
Mm-hmm.
recruit people. You have to recruit. Someone to helping you in the area that you're not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm trying to pushing them. Mhm.
Right. I see. Mm-hmm.
So I can see that your role is to give them advice, and then
Mm-hmm.
you move on from this, let's say, from this one to another one. Why is that?
Because most of their startup company, they are good in technology, guys, but they
Right.
are not
Mm-hmm.
good in business. They are not good in
Mm-hmm.
marketing. They are not good in
Mm-hmm.
finance. They lack of a lot of things. They just know
Mm-hmm.
that I have a good product, but good product is not enough, right? Good product
Mm-hmm.
cannot creating a big business, but good product is a starting part, could
Mm-hmm.
bring the company to be like a
Right.
really great company. That's why I helping a lot of company. Let me show you what I'm doing in the mini company. I'll give you the first
Mm-hmm.
this company I'm founding with one of young teenager. Okay, I'm starting
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
with this guy. Okay, he is in that time we met. He's 24 years old, just graduated from the university,
Mm-hmm.
and I have an idea. I want to do something, then but I have no time to doing that. Then I posted internet. Hey, anyone want to do the business like this? And then a lot of people coming and talk to me. Then I select this guy, and then
Mm-hmm.
we started the company together in
Mm-hmm.
2016.
Right.
And now the company growing right rocket. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
last
Mm.
year, okay, we generating revenue 500 million. Last
Wow.
year, just 6 year, and the
Mm-hmm.
CEO he just 29 years old.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way that I'm pushing them, I'm coaching them,
Mm-hmm.
I'm creating them, I'm pushing them a lot. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
this is the company that I'm founding and then I'm merging with them. Okay, this is the
Mm-hmm.
company with its name, a big data company named
Mm-hmm.
Whiteside.
Mm-hmm.
After we merging, I'm coaching them and creating the direction the company to growing. Now
Mm-hmm.
the valuation of this company is about 1.2 billion Thai baht already. Set
Mm-hmm.
index. Governance bank. Okay, investing company.
Mm-hmm.
Krungsi Bank. They invest in this company, and also
Mm-hmm.
this company is named Thaiware.com. They are young teenager company. I'm investing
Mm-hmm.
them in 2011. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and in that time, revenue per year about 2 million Thai baht. Just 2 million Thai baht. They are small company. But after I'm
Mm-hmm.
investing them, I'm turning around the company, I helping them, I change their attitude and change their mind, change the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And revenue this year, last year, is up to from 2 million. Now we hit about 100 million already.
Oh my
That
God.
is
Mm-hmm.
the way that
So
I'm
fast.
coaching them. You see that a lot of company, you see that a lot of growth, okay, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
turnaround, and that means for me, I'm do many business model already. I'm start a company, I got acquired, I'm acquire some company, I'm merging with company, I'm JV, I'm investing. That a lot of
Mm-hmm.
experience for me that I had. That this
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
give the experience to young startup and can tell them this way they should go. and this way you not shouldn't go. You go, you're gonna fail if you go this way. That is my
But you,
thought.
but you don't want to own any business. I
I'm
mean, you
also
jump from one to
CEO
one.
of the full company. I'm still running my own company too.
Right.
And another job, okay, I'm coaching them, okay. But I
Mhm.
have a template. You see that I have about 7 company already exit, right? Exit. That means I can sales share. I can, some of them
Mm.
already, other people acquire the company. This is the way that I'm doing, okay. And
Mm.
the way I'm doing, I try to creating like a, the template for them. That means when they have
Mm.
new startup, hey, you have to following the template or direction that they have. You have to creating financial budget, okay,
Mhm.
OKR and KPI. You go brand awareness, okay. You have to um, creating like a sales performance KPI, and
Mhm.
they have to creating like a product performance KPI. This is the
Mhm.
template that gonna help the business growing in the right direction that they want to growing.
Mhm. Right. So,
Mhm.
So,
Kunina.
so next, uh, what type of business would you like to be the angel investor, or what type of the business trend that, according to you, you would like to give a touch on that for this year trend?
I'm looking for, or because now, okay, the world is moving to the decentralized, the world is
Mhm.
moving to the blockchain, the world moving
Mhm.
to the cryptocurrency.
Mm.
The next company that I'm looking for is the company working in this area, like we call Web 3.0. The 3.0 is
Mhm.
something like new, it's never happened,
Mhm.
and yeah, that is something that I'm start investing in this kind of company. And for me, for the company, I invest by my own money. For myself, I'm
Mhm.
gonna moving to set up my own fund. That means gonna be the fund,
Mhm.
and then other people have money. You want to growing your money, maybe you can invest in my fund. That is gonna
Mhm.
happen in this year. Okay, that
Ah,
means more
right.
money.
Mm.
I can invest more company. Yeah. Mhm.
May I ask, how big should be the fund
The
that
500
you
million
need to
Thai baht
plan?
fund. 500 million
Right.
Thai baht fund. Yep.
I see. I
On the
see.
way,
So,
but the way to starting fund, they have many way. One is very
mhm.
conservative way, something like
Mhm.
okay, I'm open a company. Do you have something that very small way? Really the traditional way. But I don't like the traditional way. Then the
Mhm.
way I'm creating fund, I'm going to like the blockchain fund,
Mhm.
the fund that okay we can some small people who can
I
invest
see.
in the
Mhm.
fund. It mean like a
Mhm.
token. That means when
Mhm.
you invest in my company, I give the token to you. The token have value, something
Mhm.
like that. Mhm.
So that you plan for this year, that you're gonna have
This year,
this.
I'm
I
gonna make it.
see. I look forward to seeing that. So,
Yep.
Kun Pawut, can you how many? I mean, because now you're like a big brother to help small companies and young
Apple.
I hope. Yes.
Agong. No, not that old. Agong mean grandpa, but you big brother. Okay.
Yeah.
And now many proposal coming to you, or
Yep.
just you still
Every day.
like looking for, or you just sitting and waiting for proposal coming.
Yeah, like that. Okay, but sometime I have chance to join the startup pitching the event.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, a lot of startup pitching event that I'm joining. Then I can see, I can I can meet a lot of a new startup and very
Mm-hmm.
talent startup.
Mm-hmm.
After I met them, I said, "Hey, I'm really interested in you."
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That is the way that I met them. And sometime um I'm do the way that okay I build up. Okay, I have an idea. I want to do something. I give idea to the social, and then if you want to do up something, and they can come and can put the money, inject the money, and helping them growing the business.
I
Mm.
see. I see. Okay. ค
โอ
รับ
เคค่ะ
คุณดีน่าครับ
so back to this, so how would you explain Thailand's startup ecosystem?
in overall picture
Okay, the ecosystem is quite big right now because when the business growing, especially in the technology business, they cannot go alone because the technology business when they're growing, they need someone to helping. Like you creating
Mhm.
e-commerce, you need some online payment, you need some
Mhm.
like a logistic, need something that means the ecosystem is quite big.
Mhm.
That is
Mm.
reason that's why I'm build the business like a ecosystem like like a end to end. like if you want to do the business like that. But this is something that my company are working on. But you have a huge company in Thailand, 100 company, 1,000 company, startup company in the ecosystem. That is very important. But one of the thing that's still missing piece of the startup in Thailand, startup ecosystem in Thailand, is the angel investor like me, because when a teenager they have an idea, they want to grow in the business, they need someone to helping them and invest in them in the early stage. Because without the early stage money, they have to use their own money, they have to use their father or mother money. That is not enough, and they need someone to helping them and coaching them to bring them to the right direction. That is the role of the angel investor. That is still have less in Thailand. We have less than 100 people angel investor in Thailand. We need more, because the more that we have angel investor, the more the startup business is growing. That means when they're growing, they're gonna jump into the next level. They're gonna have
I
more
see.
investor like a venture capital. They're gonna have like corporate investor invest in them. But we're still missing in this piece. That means in this phase.
For this picture, does it mean that in Indonesia they got more angel investor than in Thailand? That's why the ecosystem is growing so fast.
Yes, that's
I see.
absolutely right. Because one of the most sexy for the Indonesian market is the population. They have 250 million people and they have a lot of unicorn. And after unicorn, they're growing. Huge money invested in unicorn. That means huge money. A thousand, a billion invest in Indonesia, and then the money coming, and the startup they earn money, and some founder they exit with the huge money, and then they start invest in the small startup, right? That
I
means
see.
in terms of their ecosystem, they start moving. It's dynamic, start dynamic. Okay, but for Thailand, it's still less of huge money is not coming in Thailand. Still not much comparing to Indonesia. That means when the money is not flowing to the industry, that means we don't have chance to push the money to helping the small startup. That's why we need more angel investor. That means who can be angel investor? Anyone can be that if you have some money. I'm not talking about you have 100 million Thai baht. No, maybe you have 10 million, you have 5 million, you have 1 million. You could be angel investor. Because maybe I have 1 million. Oh, I want to invest something. I have, maybe I invest in stock market, I invest in bond, I'm stock in invest in gold, but maybe you have more chance. I have I want to invest in some startup. I want to put like a 500,000 Thai baht for them in the business that you like, in the business that you want to doing, in the business that you believe, but you don't have chance to do it because you have no time. Then looking for some small startup and then invest in them, helping them, make them growing. That means Thailand needs more angel investor, and you could be angel investor too. Yeah.
I see.
Okay, Hux. The last question is I have heard about this. There's the seed round funding, and many startups actually fail on this.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
would be your suggestions?
Because when you are do the starting the business model is very important, and you need to make sure that the business model is really unique, and business model can growing. In terms of growing, one is a revenue model, one is a your user is growing. Without that, I mean, business is no meaning. And for investor, you have more chance that the company will fail. That means for investors, you have to invest more company, because if you invest just one or two company, if they have huge chance they're gonna fail. But if you invest like a 10 company, 20 company, that's sure that some company may fail, but that means the more the company you invest in, the more chance that you have gonna be you're gonna file company success. That means the more you put money, the more company you invest, the more chance that you're gonna success.
And it's like how much you can burn the money too.
It depends on the business model. It depends that you're gonna coaching the business, the startup gonna go to which way. You're gonna coaching them to the burning way, or you're gonna coaching them to the cockroach way. Cockroach way, that means you have to, not spend too much money. You have to survive. You have to
Mm.
spend very efficient money to grow
Mm.
your business. We call the cockroach way.
Right. Thank you.
โอเคค่ะคุณป้อม so next time if I have an idea I can ask for your advice
Business idea, and he gonna coach you.
are you going to coach me
I love it. Okay.
thank you
ครั
very
บ
much
ผม
ค่ะคุณป้อม
ครับผม
and thank you for today ค่ะสวัสดี
ผม
ค่ะ
ครับขอบคุณค
ข
รั
อบบ คุณมากครับขอบคุณมาก
ครับ
ค
สวัสดีค
รั
รับ บ
Well, this is the
Okay.
last part of our today program. So got something for you to wheel. It's quite interesting, fascinating to me. In China, they got one aquarium. Let's take a look. Okay, we have the video. Right, it's coming. Look at this.
Wow.
This is all the fish there, but this is not real shark. It's biomechanical whale shark. It's
Really?
invented, right? It weighs 350 kilograms and 4.7 meters long at the Shanghai Aquarium Museum. It is developed by Shenyang Aerospace Xinguang Group Corporation. So the shark can swim, change direction, flip, float, and dive like a real shark. So this
It
smart
looks
one,
like the real
it looks
whale
like a
shark.
real shark. It looks like fish friendly. They don't eat other fish. And this shark uses the technology called bionic propulsion technology. It helps the shark move like real shark, but the technology is different from other normal underwater robots. So one visitor say that she really like it because the shark can coexist peacefully with other sea creatures. So this is nice one. You should have one here in Thailand so we can watch this slowly moving and it's just like real shark, right?
It's mesmerizing, but it looks like exactly like real whale shark because all the fishes just go around and clean him up. If you see it in a clip.
Right. ครับ
Okay ค่ะ so today is Friday ค่ะคุณวิทยา any plan
Thank God it's Friday.
TGIF Okay ค่ะ and that wraps up for today our Voice of the Nation morning news update. So I hope you enjoy our live program. Stay tuned with us with the latest news and information from Thailand's premier English language news source connecting Thailand to the world Monday to Friday 8 to 9 a.m. ค่ะ
Live streaming to our website at nationthailand.com, Facebook, and other social media platforms like Twitter. Don't forget to click like and share. I'm วิทยาแสงอรุณครับ
ค่ะ and I am Nina Nirasha Malisak. Have a great weekend สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ